The unseen agony. What happens when God finally unleashes karma on a narcissist? Narcissists have a way of making life feel like a battlefield, don't they? They move through the world as if they're untouchable, wreaking havoc on everyone they meet, manipulating, lying, and using others without any hint of remorse. It often seems like they never face the consequences of their actions, as though they're immune to the justice that life eventually deals out. But what happens when the hand of God, through the relentless force of karma, finally catches up to them? The unseen agony that befalls a narcissist is far greater than any of the illusions of control they once held. This story is about how that karma unravels in ways no one expects, most of all, the narcissist themselves. Stay with me, because you won't want to miss the poetic justice that unfolds when God's karma finally strikes down on a narcissist. You've likely been there before, watching from the sidelines as a narcissist moves on effortlessly after leaving you or someone else devastated. They move through life unscathed, or so it seems, and you might wonder if they'll ever pay for the pain they've caused. But there's something about life, about God's plan for balance, that ensures no one can outrun the consequences of their actions forever. This isn't just wishful thinking. Karma, though often slow to act, never forgets. It waits patiently, biding its time, and when it strikes, the narcissist is left shattered. What they face isn't just external loss or public disgrace, it's an internal torment. An agony that strikes at the very core of their being, the place where they believe they're invincible. You'll want to hear exactly how this happens, so stay with me because we're just getting started. Before we dive into the intricacies of this unseen agony, if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. I guarantee you, this story is one that will resonate deeply, and you won't want to miss the rest of our discussions on the complexities of karma and narcissism. Hit the like button if you've ever been affected by a narcissist or know someone who has. And share this video with others who might need a reminder that karma is real, and it always catches up, no matter how untouchable a narcissist may seem. So let's begin by addressing the illusion that a narcissist operates under. The belief that they are above everyone and everything, including the law of karma. Narcissists are master manipulators, not only of others but also of themselves. They convince themselves that they are entitled to whatever they want, whether it's power, admiration, or control. They walk through life with an inflated sense of self-importance, believing that they can take without giving, lie without consequence, and manipulate without ever being held accountable. And for a time, it may seem like they're right. They discard people, leave broken hearts in their wake, and move on to new victims without looking back. But here's where the unseen agony begins. The narcissist's entire existence is built on lies. Lies they tell themselves and others. And when karma comes, those lies start to unravel, and so does the narcissist. Imagine the narcissist, in the midst of their delusions, feeling on top of the world. They've moved on to new prey. They're receiving the admiration they crave, and to the outside world, it seems like they've escaped unscathed from the wreckage they've caused. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Inside, the narcissist is already suffering. That craving for validation, for external praise, is a sign of the deep void within them. They need others to prop up their fragile sense of self because, underneath it all, they're empty. Karma begins its work long before any outward signs of their downfall appear. It starts by amplifying that emptiness, making the narcissist's hunger for validation more insatiable. They can never have enough. The more they seek to fill that void, the deeper it gets. As karma unfolds, the narcissist's grip on their reality starts to slip. The lies they've built their lives on begin to crumble, and they can feel it, even if they won't admit it to themselves or anyone else. They start to lose control of their relationships, of their carefully constructed image, and most painfully, of their sense of self. This is where the real agony begins. For a narcissist, control is everything. Losing it is their worst nightmare. But here's the beauty of karma. It doesn't just strip away the narcissist's control over others. It strips away their control over themselves. Suddenly, the tactics that once worked so effortlessly, gaslighting, manipulation, emotional abuse, begin to backfire. The people they once controlled start to see through their lies, and the narcissist's world begins to close in on them. If you're finding this story as compelling as I do, now's the time to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button if you've ever witnessed karma in action, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Trust me, this story is just getting started, and the reckoning that awaits the narcissist is something you'll want to see unfold in its entirety. As the narcissist's world begins to collapse, something else happens that's even more profound. Their inner torment starts to grow. This is where God's karma really shows its hand. You see, narcissists are wired to avoid introspection at all costs. They can't bear to face the reality of who they are because, deep down, they know that the person they've built, the one they present to the world, is a lie. When karma strikes, it forces them to confront the one thing they've been running from their entire lives: themselves. Imagine the narcissist sitting alone, the adoration they once received drying up, the people they used to manipulate walking away. They have no one left to control, no one left to feed their ego. And now, they're left with only their thoughts. This is the ultimate agony for a narcissist, being alone with themselves. For the first time, they have to confront the emptiness inside, the deep-seated insecurity that drives all of their toxic behavior. This is the kind of suffering that no one sees. The unseen agony that haunts the narcissist from within. It's a slow, relentless torment, one that eats away at them day by day. And here's where karma becomes truly poetic. While the narcissist is dealing with this internal torment, the world around them begins to reflect their downfall. Relationships that once seemed so solid start to fall apart. Their new supply, the person they thought would prop them up and give them the validation they crave, begins to see through their facade. The narcissist's manipulations no longer work. The lies they once told so easily now come back to haunt them. People start to see the narcissist for who they really are, and the admiration they once commanded turns into disdain. The narcissist is left scrambling, trying desperately to hold onto the control they once had, but it's slipping through their fingers, faster than they can grasp it. At this point, the narcissist may try to shift the blame, to play the victim, or to manipulate their way out of the situation. But here's the thing about karma, it's inescapable. No matter how hard the narcissist tries to regain control, it's too late. Karma has already set the wheels in motion, and there's no stopping it now. The people in the narcissist's life, the ones who were once blind to their manipulations, have woken up. They see the narcissist for who they truly are, and they're no longer willing to play along. The narcissist is left isolated, with no one to manipulate, no one to control. And for someone whose entire existence is built around control, this is the ultimate punishment. If you're still with me, I want to thank you for sticking around to hear the full story of karma's inevitable justice. If this video resonated with you, please like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more discussions on the hidden realities of narcissism, karma, and the ultimate justice that life delivers. As we close, remember this: no one, not even the most cunning narcissist, can escape the hand of karma. It may take time, but when it arrives, it's swift, merciless, and deeply, deeply satisfying. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay strong and remember that justice always comes, even for the narcissist. Inside the mind of a narcissist, the hidden pain behind the mask. Hello and welcome back. Today, we're diving into a topic that might change the way you see a certain type of person in your life, the narcissist. We all know them, those individuals who seem so confident, self-centered, and who always find a way to make everything about themselves. But what if there's more going on beneath the surface than meets the eye? What if, behind that tough, unbreakable exterior, there's a deep, hidden pain that they're desperately trying to keep from the world? It's easy to think of narcissists as cold and unfeeling, but the truth is, there's a complex emotional world hidden behind their mask, one that's often driven by fears, insecurities, and a profound inner struggle. If you've ever found yourself frustrated or hurt by a narcissist's behavior and wondered what might be going on inside their mind, stay tuned. This discussion will reveal the hidden pain that narcissists carry, and how that pain shapes their every move. Before we get started on this eye-opening journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with those who might benefit from understanding what truly drives a narcissist's behavior. These insights could be the key to making sense of those puzzling actions and words, and you won't want to miss out. Let's explore what's really going on inside the mind of a narcissist and uncover the pain they keep buried beneath their confident facade. Narcissists are often seen as people who have it all together. They project an image of self-assuredness, acting as if they are always right and rarely doubting themselves. But the reality is far more complicated than that. Inside the mind of a narcissist, there's a constant struggle between the image they want to present to the world and the insecurity that eats away at them from within. It's as if they've built a fortress around their true selves, carefully constructing a persona that they hope others will admire, respect, and even envy. But what lies within that fortress is a deep sense of inadequacy, a fear that if the world ever saw who they really were, they wouldn't be loved or accepted. This hidden insecurity is the driving force behind many of a narcissist's actions. While they might act like they believe they're superior, what they're really doing is desperately trying to convince themselves of their own worth. Imagine living in a world where every interaction feels like a test of your value, where you constantly need others to tell you that you're important, talented, or special just to keep your sense of self intact. This is the reality for many narcissists. They aren't just seeking attention for the sake of it, they're trying to fill a void inside themselves, a void that they fear will never be truly satisfied. When a narcissist walks into a room, they often try to dominate the conversation, turning the focus onto themselves. To those around them, it might seem like they're simply being arrogant or self-centered. But inside the mind of the narcissist, there's often a different story playing out. They crave attention because it temporarily silences the voice in their head that tells them they're not enough. It's like a drug, giving them a momentary high that makes them feel valued and appreciated. But just like any drug, the effects wear off quickly, and they're left searching for the next fix. This endless cycle of seeking admiration and validation is exhausting, but it's the only way they know how to quiet the doubts that constantly lurk in the background. But it's not just about seeking praise. Narcissists also have a deep fear of being exposed, of being seen as anything less than perfect. This fear drives them to hide their mistakes, to shift blame onto others, and to avoid situations where they might look vulnerable. It's a survival mechanism, born out of a belief that any sign of weakness could lead to rejection. If you've ever tried to point out a flaw or offer constructive criticism to a narcissist, you've likely seen this fear in action. They might react with anger, denial, or even by turning the tables and attacking you instead. It's not that they're incapable of seeing their own flaws, it's that acknowledging them feels too dangerous. It threatens to crack the carefully constructed image they've built, and that's a risk they can't afford to take. Imagine what it would be like to live with this constant pressure. Every interaction, every relationship becomes a performance, a chance to prove that they are worthy of the admiration they seek. But the truth is, narcissists rarely feel at ease. Beneath the bravado, there's often a deep sense of loneliness. They find it difficult to form genuine connections with others because they're too focused on maintaining their facade. Relationships become transactional, based on what the other person can provide, whether that's admiration, status, or a sense of control. But this leaves them feeling isolated, even when they're surrounded by people. It's a loneliness that they might not even fully understand themselves. Because to admit that they feel alone would be to admit that something is missing in their life. And then there's the issue of self-worth. Narcissist self-esteem is like a roller coaster ride, with extreme highs and crushing lows. When they're getting the attention they crave, they might feel invincible, as if they truly are as special as they want to believe. But the moment that admiration is withdrawn, their sense of self can come crashing down. It's not uncommon for a narcissist to go from feeling like the most important person in the room to feeling worthless in a matter of hours. This instability is a constant source of inner turmoil, and it's part of what makes their behavior so unpredictable. They're always searching for ways to restore their sense of superiority, but deep down, they know that their confidence is fragile. This struggle for self-worth is often coupled with a deep-seated envy. Narcissists might look at others who seem genuinely happy, who have deep relationships or a sense of inner peace, and feel a pang of jealousy. They don't understand why others can find contentment in things that seem out of reach for them. It's a reminder of what they lack, and it can make them resentful. They might try to tear others down, not because they truly believe those people are less worthy, but because it's a way of coping with their own feelings of inadequacy. If they can convince themselves that others aren't as special as they appear, it makes their own struggles feel a little less painful. The irony is that many narcissists are aware, at some level, that they're not as happy as they pretend to be. They might recognize that their relationships feel shallow, that their constant need for validation is exhausting, and that they never seem to find the peace they're looking for. But changing their behavior is incredibly difficult. It would mean confronting the very insecurities they've spent a lifetime avoiding. It would mean admitting that their need for control is a sign of fear, not strength. For most narcissists, the idea of facing these truths is too terrifying, so they continue with the only way of life they know, keeping the mask firmly in place and hoping that the world never sees what lies beneath. And that's where the real tragedy lies. While narcissists might cause pain to those around them, they're also trapped in their own kind of suffering. They live in a world where they can never fully relax, never let their guard down, and never trust that they are truly enough just as they are. Their entire sense of self is tied to the approval of others, and it makes them vulnerable in a way they would never willingly admit. It's a life of constant striving, where satisfaction is always just out of reach. Even in their moments of triumph, there's often a sense that it's not enough, that they need more admiration, more attention, more proof that they matter. This doesn't excuse their behavior, and it doesn't mean that those affected by narcissists should tolerate their actions. But it does help to explain why they act the way they do, and why their lives, despite appearances, are far from easy. It's a reminder that even those who seem the most confident might be hiding a world of pain beneath their smile. Understanding this hidden side of narcissism can give us a greater sense of empathy, not necessarily for the narcissist's actions, but for the struggle they carry within. It can also empower us to set boundaries and protect ourselves without getting caught up in their emotional whirlwind. Thank you so much for staying with me through this in-depth look at the hidden pain behind the mask of a narcissist. I hope this discussion has given you a new perspective on what drives their behavior and helped you see that even those who seem unbreakable have their own inner struggles. If this video brought you any clarity or helped you understand a difficult relationship in your life, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with those who might need to hear these insights. Your support makes all the difference, and it allows us to continue exploring more of these deep, thought-provoking topics together. Remember, knowledge is the first step to understanding, and understanding can lead to a greater sense of peace, both with ourselves and with others. Until next time, take care, stay compassionate,